Welcome back to another Mayhem original episode. This joined by my executive producer, Ms. Pa, and of course that means off screen we have the Breeze, who will be our fact checker. We're going to be talking about the draft and the moves that NFL teams made during the draft and
or lack thereof.
and after the draft, yes, or lack thereof, or dumbassery on their part. We're not going to be covering all the teams. We're really going to be focusing on the Cowboys and Eagles. Coincidentally, he's a Cowboys fan and I'm an Eagles fan. If you would like us to talk about your team sometime, please leave us a comment. We'd be happy to, start including other teams. And we will be talking a little bit about some other teams, but not really their draft picks or some, just their association with some other trades and stuff that were made. Ms. Pa, welcome back to the Mayhem Original Podcast.
Thank you.
We are going to talk about the Cowboys first because later on I'm going to be talking about the Eagles, and I will not be interrupted.
Are you going to pay the bills first?
Oh, yeah, you should go check out our storefront. Of course, you can find our podcast on Facebook, YouTube, and Rumble. We don't have a storefront. Marcus Fredrickson plays us in, and he will play us out at the end. Check out his music on ReverbNation.com/Marcus Fredrickson. And while we don't have a storefront yet, you can check out our sister show's storefront at bonfire.com/store/The Boiling Point Podcast. And I have another storefront, bonfire.com/JDEDESIGNz. That's with a Z at the end of it. Pick up some stuff and help support the podcast. We may get some T-shirts. I'm thinking I'm going to make a T-shirt or two and put it up on the JDEDESIGNz storefront for in case anybody wants one.
I think it'd be a good idea.
Yeah.
I mean, I do have an official personnel T-shirt.
Yes, because nobody else bought any of the blue Boiling Point Podcast shirts. We have officially designated the blue shirt a personnel shirt. So if we ever start doing, live shows at places where we actually need, where I'll need an actual staff to support the podcast, then we'll put them in these shirts. Because you missed out, and I'm sorry about that. That's why you don't want to wait. Check out the storefront, because I'll make a design, but I'm taking it down. It's not going to be up there forever.
I'm not sorry. I got a one-of-a-kind.
Yeah, well, yeah. I understand that. That does make it unique. That's what I'm saying. Because I took it down. It's not available anymore, and I will see if I ever put it up again. It's not likely. But check out JDEDESIGNz, the Boiling Point Podcasts on Facebook. And the Boiling Point Podcast is available on YouTube and Rumble, as is this podcast, YouTube and Rumble. Our YouTube channel is behind a little bit because I got a strike from my other podcast on the Boiling Point Podcast, so I can't upload nothing to YouTube yet. I believe it actually just got off, so this weekend I'll likely add more.
That's YouTube for you.
So, yes, that's why we are on Rumble, because we're not going to be risk taking down. Some people don't like Rumble, though, so we are on YouTube, and I'll be uploading some episodes to Facebook, and that's enough of that. Let's get to some content. So, the Cowboys, how'd they do? How do you think they did?
They could have done much better.
Yes.
But that's kind of the Cowboys, the way they operate. They can always do better than they are.
Yes.
And we'll get into the why later.
Yeah, I was going to say, it doesn't help when Jerry Jones is showing you your draft board.
Well,
showing the public your draft board.
Who does that?
Yeah. Oh, here he is on our list.
Take a look at all of the picks that we've researched and spent hours and hours and hours.
Yeah.
In looking into, and here it all is for all of the other teams to, what?
Yep. Here's who we're picking, and here's when we're picking them. Yep.
And that just
did that affect the Cowboys draft, in your opinion? Did they not get some of the people that they were planning on getting because of that? Or no, let's not say it was because of that. Did they not get some of the people they were initially planning?
I don't think it really affected the draft pick that much, because I think their draft was already screwed from the go. I really do. The fact that, if you analyze the draft board, the Giants picked up a lot of the players that the Cowboys were really interested in.
Oh, really? Okay. So it did then.
But
not necessarily as a result of Jerry Jones showing the draft board, but you're saying the Giants picked up some of the people that the Cowboys were intended on getting.
And I don't know whether he showed the board before or after those picks occurred.
Yeah, it was before.
It was before, so
yeah,
that it absolutely affected it.
Yeah.
However, that just goes to show Jerry Jones is senile and should not be running a football team anymore.
Yes, going to the list of, we have a list here that we like to discuss and make fun of, and we're officially adding Jerry Jones to that list. It's the I need to take a break from what I'm doing list, and it does include old men who don't necessarily need to retire. I'm not saying that these guys need to retire. What I am saying is that they need to step back and let someone else run things briefly, and on this list is, of course, Vince McMahon.
Yes.
Who is, a crazy old man, and then there's former Vice President Joe Biden. But that's our list of crazy old men who just need to take a break and step back from what they're doing because they just need a rest, I think. Not that they're out of touch or can't do it anymore. They just need to take a rest, let someone else do it for a minute, and then if they want, come back in.
And I would say Jerry Jones needs to let the front office make more decisions, but that's not going to help either. Because the front office is full of friends and family of Jerry Jones.
Yes, and do you think that any of them go against what Jerry Jones has to say?
Hell no!
No, of course not.
Whatever Jerry wants, Jerry gets, and it's further proof that we just need a new owner. And
I know. Like I said, I don't think you need a new owner. I think he just needs to step back. I think he needs to step back and take a season and not go to his stadium, not go to any of the stuff. I think he just needs to take a year. Step back, put his son in charge for 1 year. Take a break for 1 year, Jerry Jones. 1 year. Take a break, take a step back, sit on the beach, have a Mai Tai. And
don't
then
even talk about
in.
the Cowboys. Don't look at the Cowboys.
Yeah, don't watch the games.
Just
take
let
an entire
the Cowboys
year off.
Do whatever they're going to do and evaluate after a year.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. Take a year. Just take a year, okay? Vince McMahon, take a year.
Maybe 2.
Jerry Jones, all right?
Maybe 2.
Okay, Joe Biden, just take a year off. Like you're working anyway. Anyway.
But anyway, so the Cowboys picks.
They got an offensive line. This is, what in the hell is it? I mean, our offensive, I get offensive linemen. They're important. Of course they're important. No question about it. Are they first round pick important, in your opinion?
I think in a situation where most of the teams have wide receivers and offensive linemen and wide receivers.
There was a lot of linemen taken early in this draft.
And I think this was a season for linemen. I really do. Yes, I do believe first round lineman was the way to go.
That's interesting. The Breeze, could you look up something for me? I forgot to look up before the show began. Apologies, everybody. I can't always think of everything. Can you just look up how many picks it was until a quarterback was taken in this draft? Because if I'm not mistaken, it's going to tie the record. If I'm not mistaken, because I did watch some of the draft. So, and I do believe that when the first QB was taken, ties the record for far as the longest into a draft before a QB is taken. Now you guys took a linebacker in the second round, a wide receiver, which you guys definitely need now that you got rid of. What's his name?
Tight end.
A tight end. Tight ends are always important too, especially Dak. Dak likes to throw to those tight ends, certainly. And then you had 4 5th-round picks. We're not going to go over each and every one of these. And then a 6th-round pick. But, I mean, overall, that's 9 picks, and we're going to hold that in some contrasts in just a few minutes. So just remember that the Cowboys had 9 picks, and they did not do a bad job. They got some people, but
they did an okay job.
Is it?
It wasn't stellar.
It's not necessarily who they needed or the positions that they needed. I don't really get
the tackle. We needed that position.
Yeah, and you guys need some offensive linemen. Yeah,
Tyler Smith. He's got a lot of potential.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got the skills, but...
And with your running game, and that's the thing that we've talked about it before. We've talked about it on the Boiling Point podcast. We've certainly talked about it here on the Mayhem Original that the Cowboys, with their running game, with Zeke and Pollard, should be running the ball 40 times a game at least with these two guys. And they don't do it. And you do need an offensive line, though, for your running backs.
Yes.
But I think both of them are good enough that I think even without an all-star line, I think both of those guys could do it if you use them correctly in the way they're supposed to be used.
I have an answer for you.
Okay.
It looks like there was one picked in the first round.
Yes,
Kenny Pickett was picked in the first
Kenny
round.
Pickett, yep, Pittsburgh picked up Kenny Pickett, but what pick number was that?
Let me find that out.
All right. Yes, Kenny Pickett was the first QB taken, and I'm 99% certain that the Steelers picked up Kenny Pickett.
Yes.
For reasons, and let's use that as a moment. We saw there was some more in the story about Dwayne Haskins, that he was walking to get gas. Because his car was out of gas, I guess, which is still bizarre to me.
He was number 20.
He was number 20?
Mm-hmm.
So the 20th, so it wasn't until the 20th pick, and then he was the only quarterback taken in the first round.
Correct.
So that is, I don't know the record for how late it was when a quarterback was taken, but that's definitely high. 20 picks before a QB is taken is definitely.
Thank you, Breeze.
You're welcome.
Yes, thank you very much.
So my biggest gripe about Tyler Smith is he has very little field awareness. I was watching a lot of his college games and some highlight reels, and when he's on, he makes a hole that you could drive a bus through.
Yeah.
But when he's not paying attention to the blitz that's coming, it runs right by him, and he's like, what the hell was that? He just, you can tell he's completely dumbstruck.
So he has trouble picking up the blitz.
Yeah.
Is what you're saying.
Among other things, but yes.
Yeah. Well, he's a rookie. I mean, he's going to need to grow.
I mean, there is a lot of potential there, and a lot of the issues that he has are coachable.
Yeah.
You know, as long as he's willing to learn and adapt, he'll be an excellent player. The biggest hindrance for him, though, penalties.
Holding.
He had I believe it was the highest penalty rate of all that other players in that position.
Yeah.
We don't need that.
No, you don't.
It's okay when you have a team that can overcome those kind of penalties. We do not have that kind of team.
Yeah, and they'll frustrate, if that happens, they'll frustrate Zeke and Pollard if they break a big one off and it's called back for holding.
Exactly.
That can frustrate your running back, which can then,
Could cause internal conflict.
Yeah. And holding penalties are something that are just killer in an offense sometimes.
And our third round pick, Jalen Tolbert, he's another one. He's got potential. He's very fresh, very green around, wet behind the ears.
Yeah.
But with the right coaching and the right incentive, I think he could be a valuable player for the team.
Yeah.
The other ones, they're okay.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing super notable that I had seen.
Yeah. But not to say that they don't possess that ability. I mean,
and if anybody
coming out of the
disagrees
draft-
with me, feel free to comment and, maybe we do an addendum and discuss it.
Yeah. Yeah, leave comments about your team or about what we're saying, and we will discuss it on another episode. So, all right, now we're going to go to the Eagles, who I'm an Eagles fan, and I have not been happy with them since after we won the Super Bowl, the 2019 season.
What are you guys doing?
I don't know. But let's talk about the draft first, and then we'll talk about how we got here. So we at the start of the draft, we had two first rounders, pick number 15 and pick number 18. We traded pick 18 and pick 101 for A.J. Brown, wide receiver from the Titans. Now, A.J. Brown is a good wide receiver, potentially a great wide receiver. Assuming he can maybe get around some of these injury concerns. He's only been healthy 1 out of the 3 years he was with the Titans, but 2 of the seasons, including one of them that he was injured, were 1,000-plus yard seasons. That's good for a young wide receiver. That's great stats. And of course, we have Devontae Smith. So with Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown, we got 2 great wide receivers for the first time in a long time. The Eagles have not had 2 good wide receivers. Now all we need is someone to throw them to, or to throw to them. And we'll talk about Jalen Hurts in a minute. His contract, AJ Brown's contract, is 4 years for $100 million with 57 guaranteed, which is high for a receiver. But if he stays healthy and lives up to his
Especially an
potential,
injury-prone receiver.
yeah, but it's only been 3 seasons, so let's see. He seems to be everything he's been posting on social media. He seems to be very hungry to make this work with Philadelphia. So I'm hoping that he's going to be hungry, and if Jalen Hurts shows up this season hungry. Oh, Bree, could you look and see if Gardner Minshew is still on the Eagles roster?
I'm sorry, what was that name again?
Gardner Minshew.
Gardner Minshew.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he's still on the team, but I'm just curious since we're talking about the Eagles. Now this is where the wheels start coming off. It's fine. We got AJ Brown. We traded a first round pick, and I believe pick 101 was a 4th round or the end of the 3rd round, if I'm not mistaken. So, and that's fine. We traded him for AJ Brown. Good grab. I think that's good. Now the wheels come off. We traded picks, multiple picks. We traded picks 15 from the 1st round, pick 124 from the 4th round, 162 from the 5th round, and 166 from the 5th round. That's 4 picks that we traded so that we could trade up to the number 13 overall pick and draft defensive tackle Jordan Davis. What?
Why?
Now,
So
everything
you
I've
gave away
seen, everything I've seen,
4 picks
everything I've
to
seen,
move up 2 spots.
yes, to get Jordan Davis. Now, from everything I've seen, Jordan Davis is a grab. From what I've read and seen, Jordan Davis is a grab. He is going to be good. He's going to help our defense. I don't get. They must have really wanted him. I don't get trading 4 picks.
In fact, I believe Jordan Davis was also
For one player.
a player that was on the Cowboys draft board as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting. I mean, maybe we did it. I mean, I assume that they did it so that they could grab him because they thought another team was going to. That's why I assume that they made this trade. I still don't know that. I mean, 4 picks.
That's 4 bodies for 1.
Yeah. And the reason and we'll get there in a second because wait till you see what we picked up afterwards. Then we picked up an offensive lineman in the 2nd round. Yeah, you can always, like I said, we've just discussed offensive lineman. This is an offensive lineman and defensive lineman heavy draft.
Yeah.
A lot of them were taken. We got a linebacker in the 3rd round, fine. A defensive end and a tight end with our final 2 picks. And then we picked up 12 undrafted free agents. 12. We picked up 12 undrafted free agents. 12. That's
not
why.
one, not 2, not half a dozen.
No. That's why
a full dozen.
That's why I bring up trading 4 picks for 1. And if you disagree with me, please. If I am underestimating what anybody thinks Jordan Davis is going to bring to the Eagles, please leave a comment and correct me. I don't have a problem with being wrong. I don't get it. 4 picks for Jordan Davis. While he's a very good player, I still don't. A defensive tackle. The defensive tackle is not going to be the difference between us making.
Yeah, it's
the playoffs.
not like you were trading for a wide receiver.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't want to take anything away from the defense. Defense is important.
But is it trading
4
4
picks?
for 1?
I don't know.
I mean,
Now
that's right up there with as good as our trade with
yeah,
Amari Cooper.
yeah. When you guys traded Amari Cooper, yeah. And then we picked up 12 undrafted free agents. Now the plus side is that what I've seen from these free agents, a lot of different people think that a lot of these, that at least 2 or 3 of them that we picked up should have been drafted. So the fact that we got them as undrafted free agents is good. So hopefully we picked up some people that are going to help us. But 12 undrafted free agents. If we needed that many people, why didn't we just keep some of our picks? I just don't get it. I don't get Nick Sirianni. I don't get Nick Sirianni and Jeff Lurie and what the hell they're trying to do. All right? And now we're going to go into my rant here, okay? Because in 2018, we win the Super Bowl. The Eagles win the Super Bowl, all right?
Yep.
In 2019, we go 9-7. We lose in the wild card playoff round. Fine. It happens. You know what I mean? No one wins Super Bowls. I honestly don't recall. I didn't write that down because it wasn't important. Because how many teams do you know other than a team that has Tom Brady go to the Super Bowl 2 years in a row?
Who did the Eagles play in 2019 for the wild card?
Hang on, I'm still trying to find this Gardner Minshew thing. The only thing I can find, Gunner, for Gardner Minshew is that back from he was the conditional 6th round pick
Oh yeah, we don't know anything about Gardner Minshew right now. That's fine. We'll check on him. We'll check on him and update in another episode. So anyway,
what was it, Miss Paul, you wanted me to look for?
Who the Eagles lost to in 2019 for the wild card playoff?
All right, so 2018 we win the Super Bowl. 2019 we lose in the wild card round. It happens, okay? How many teams other than teams that have Tom Brady go to the Super Bowl 2 years in a row? Not many. Okay? So the fact that we didn't make it in 2019, who cares, okay? Enter the 2020 season and the beginning of what I believe is Jeff Lurie influencing Doug Peterson, who I think is who I think is the best head coach the Eagles have had since Andy Reid. He won us the Super Bowl, okay? So, in 2020, we draft Jalen Hurts. Why are we drafting Jalen Hurts, who is a high-profile quarterback? Why are we doing that when we have Carson Wentz? We already have a starting quarterback. Why are we doing that? Doug Peterson had, prior to the 2020 season, and even after the 2019 season, when we lost in the wild card, stated plenty of times, Carson Wentz was his quarterback. That's who his quarterback was, okay? So, 2020, why did we draft Jalen Hurts? Well, we draft him because Jeff Lurie doesn't think that Carson Wentz is going to be the guy that can take us back to the Super Bowl again. Jeff Lurie thinks that. Doug Peterson thinks that Carson Wentz can still take us there. Jeff Lurie, the owner, does not. Okay? So, in the 2020 season, the Eagles are ravaged with injuries at every position, but especially at linemen, where we have 12 different offensive linemen starting throughout that season. That's completely ridiculous for a team to have 12 starting linemen. 11 of them having at least 50 snaps. Okay? That's crazy. And the fact that we made it to the playoffs and then just lost in the wild card round, that's a testament to how well we played. Also, because 2020 was also, statistically, Carson Wentz's best season, statistically. Okay? But we still draft Jalen Hurts. 2019. 2019 was Carson Wentz's best statistical season. I apologize. I got that wrong, everybody. That's my bad. I had looked at my note wrong. The 2019 season...
I believe the Breeze has an answer for us.
Yeah, in 2019, the Eagles were defeated by the Seahawks in their wild card round.
And the Seahawks. So that's not a big deal either.
Yeah.
The Seahawks were a good team at that time. Now, in 2020, we draft Jalen Hurts. Carson, we had 12 different linemen, 11 of them having only at least 50 snaps. The decision is made then for Jalen Hurts to start games and not Carson Wentz anymore. Not unheard of. Teams, when they're ready to pick a new quarterback, if they're out of reach of the playoffs, will make a decision to make their change then. Mm-hmm. And let me just tell you something, okay? Not only do you not make a decision about your starting quarterback when you've had 12 different linemen starting that season, but you also don't put in a rookie quarterback when you've had 12 different linemen starting at that position. You don't. Jalen Hurts got chewed up in 2020 season. I remember seeing, I even remember thinking, why are you putting Jalen Hurts in the game? He should not be in the game. It can be very, very terrible for a rookie quarterback to take that as many hits as he did in his first season. I don't think it was a good idea. You stick with Carson Wentz, and you don't make a decision about that when you have that kind of trouble at offensive line. You just don't. You can't do that. You can't make a decision about your quarterback if he's having 2 seconds before he's getting hit. So, and that's
being generous.
Yeah. So, okay, that's why you don't do that, all right? Having an O-line that is plagued with injury, that's never the time to make a decision about your starting quarterback, nor put in a rookie quarterback. And this was and then, of course, we traded Carson Wentz, and then Doug Peterson was done, too, because he was tired of, and he stated on a podcast that he did not, that's why he left. He left because Jeff Lurie wouldn't stay out of his business. I'm summarizing, of course. He didn't actually say it that way. But Jeff Lurie should not be the owners. The owners, and just like with the Cowboys and Jerry Jones, the owner should stay the hell out of the locker room. You don't make player decisions. You can make head coach decisions, coaching decisions. You decide how much the concession stands cost. Okay? That's what you do as an owner. You decide how much a concession stand costs. How much are you going to rip off the people for a beer? Okay? That's your job. Stay out of the locker room. Okay, all owners who want to get involved in player decisions, shut the hell up, sit in your owner's box, and collect a check. Let the coaches decide who's playing for their team.
But they hire people for the purpose of scouting and
exactly.
and
You listen
players.
to your scouts and you listen to your coaches.
Are you hiring people you trust? Because if you are, then trust them. If you're not hiring people you trust to hire personnel, then you need to question why you hired them in the first place and get somebody who you do trust.
Yes, exactly. And meanwhile, our Super Bowl winning head coach now is coaching Jacksonville. Okay? Mark my words. Within 5 years, if they keep Doug Peterson, they will be a contender for the Super Bowl. Within 5 years, the Jacksonville Jaguars, who the hell are they? Exactly. The Jacksonville Jaguars will be in contention for the Super Bowl within 5 years.
3.
With as long as they stick with Doug Peterson. As if they get rid of him, then who knows? They'll probably stay in the basement.
If they keep him, I say 3.
And it's not, like you said, it's not just the Eagles and the Cowboys. The Redskins, a.k.a. the Commanders, also have a Dan Snyder problem. He's the owner. He can't keep his nose out of the locker room. The Browns, the Dolphins, all of these teams, there's too many teams that have owners that are getting involved in player decisions. Shut up. You hire people for these decisions. You decide how much the concession stands are. Okay? That's it. That's your job.
And if you want more than one person making the decision, hire a freaking team.
Yeah.
Get 5 people. And they'll, majority has to agree. Whatever.
Well, that's why you pick a head coach and a general. Most teams have a head coach and a general manager. The general manager puts together the team. The head coach decides how to run it. Usually they communicate so that they're getting people that work with what they're going for. If you don't have people doing this, then you need to hire different people. And that's your other job other than the concession stands. Deciding who is running your team. That's who you hire people to run your team.
Yeah, and as an owner, if you cannot make those kind of decisions because you are too close and it's too personal for you.
Or at least the owners that continue to try. Yeah, at least the owners that continue to try do not know what they're doing and are making their teams worse. And also Nick Sirianni, I'm not convinced on you either. You have this season, pal. If you don't do something this season, then I'm going to start calling for your head just along with the rest of the Eagles fans that'll be calling for your head by the end of the season. I'm not a Nick Sirianni fan. I wasn't a fan of getting rid of Doug Peterson, so Nick Sirianni already had 1 strike against him as soon as he took the job. Strike 1, you took the job, and it should be Doug Peterson's. Strike 2, you did a pile of shit last year. You didn't do anything, okay? You're not doing anything. Jalen Hurts sucks. Gardner Minshew tore it up last year in the one game he played because Jalen Hurts was injured, and then you just decided to take him out. You don't ever do that. Gardner Minshew he's hungry. He was ready to play. You should have rode him out and maybe made it deeper into the playoffs. But you went back to Jalen Hurts, who is, as far as I'm concerned, an overpriced ball carrier. He's handing the ball off. His passing is subpar. He's not doing it, okay? We got 2 great wide receivers this year, okay? Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts. You have this year, 1 year. You have no excuses. You have 2 great targets, okay? You got people where you need them to be. Shut up, and it's time to get things done. If you don't, it's time for you to step out. Both Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni. Get the hell off my team if you're not going to do it. Because you got rid of fucking... And I'm getting real pissed. Jeff Lurie. Sorry, I couldn't remember his name. I had to find it on my notes. Jeff Lurie, the owner of the Eagles. You got rid of a Super Bowl winning head coach, and now we're in the basement. Wake up, pull your head out of your ass, get us a head coach who wants to get us to the Super Bowl, who has a plan like Doug Peterson did, and then executed it, you fucking tard.
So, I guess if I could summarize your rant, the Eagles are heading back into the dark ages.
Yes, because Nick Sirianni's not going to do it. Owner Jeff Lurie doesn't know what the hell to do, clearly. And so what? We have nobody then. Because we don't have a quarterback now. We don't have a head coach. Both of them are question marks. They're question marks. That's at best. Okay? I have not seen anything from Jalen Hurts to make me think that he can be a quarterback in the NFL. Not just for my team. In the NFL. I wouldn't put him on the fucking Browns.
So are you guys in the basement, or are you guys already headed to the catacombs?
Well, we have a chance yet because we have good people. So we still have some good people. All we need is a coach that can bring it all together and a new quarterback.
Can those good people pull it together for you without the appropriate coaching?
Oh, I don't know about that. As we've seen, coaching's pretty important in the NFL today. I mean, it's pretty important. If you don't have the right coaches doing the right things with your people, then teams are not performing. Look at the Browns still in the basement. The Bengals made it to the Super Bowl. The Browns are still in the basement. Why is that? Owner interference. So no, it's not. You got to have good coaches. You got to have a good team. It takes everything to win a Super Bowl. It really does. You can't just put it together. I know the Bucs made it look easy, but they didn't just get Tom Brady. Bruce Arians is a smart guy. He is a smart head coach. He didn't just get Tom Brady. He got him an offensive line to protect him. He got him targets on the team to catch the ball. A good running game so that the pressure didn't all have to be on Tom Brady. Good coaches to develop all the players. It takes everything, not just one thing. One player is not going to decide your season. It takes the whole team, the coaching staff, the players, the training staff, everything, including the owners, which start doing your job and then maybe your teams will win. Concessions.
Control your administration and let your administration do their jobs.
Yeah. Put people in place, then sit in your owner's box and watch the games. That's it. Stop getting involved. Stop. It's just ridiculous. I don't know. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, and I completely agree with you, because if you look at all of the teams that have very strongly influential owners that have to constantly be involved in some shape, form, or fashion, then they can have some of the greatest talented players, but go nowhere.
Yeah, the Cowboys are evidence of that last season.
Exactly. Absolutely.
Why didn't the Cowboys make it to the Super Bowl? There's no reason the Cowboys shouldn't have made it to the Super Bowl with the team that they had last year. There's no reason at all. Bad decisions during games, bad decisions from the coaches. I don't think it's Mike McCarthy. I think it's Jerry Jones. I think Jerry Jones is saying, yo, you have to do this and you have to do that, and if he doesn't do it, he's going to be fired, so he's just doing it. Because I don't see how a guy like Mike McCarthy doesn't understand that with Pollard and Zeke, you're not running the ball and running the ball and then running the ball and then again running the ball. I don't really understand it.
But yeah, let the evidence speak for itself. And you would think as an owner, then again, being too close to the situation, but as an owner, when you see this trend continuing over and over and over and over again, at what point do you stop and sit there and go, what is the real problem here?
They don't seem to ever think that it's them.
And that's the problem.
Yeah, it is.
They're never going to think it's them.
No.
So we're just going to perpetually be stuck dealing with owners that have too much involvement.
Yeah, for now, until more people figure it out. Yeah, I do believe that there are some teams who have figured it out, but I don't. That's what I'm saying. Look for the Jaguars in the next 5 years. I bet they figured it out. I got a feeling that they figured it out.
So when
the Niners too.
When the Eagles,
although the Niners are
when the Eagles owner,
the Bucs have figured it out. Bruce Arians just got promoted,
dies or steps down or retires or whatever he decides to do. Who's taking over for him?
For who? The Eagles?
Yeah.
Leaves?
When your owner.
Oh, I have no idea. I don't know who's next in line or who he has.
Children?
I have no idea. I've never cared that much about Jeff Lurie to find out.
Okay.
I used to think the only reason I know his name is because at one time he was a good owner.
Because, for Jones, we know who's going to be taking over.
Well, yeah, his
Jerry.
team. Yeah. And the starting quarterback of your guys' team will be his grandson in a few years. So, yeah. The Cowboys are becoming a family dynasty instead of a team dynasty.
Yep.
So.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I wonder what happens when, I don't know his name, Jerry Jones' grandson. I'm just wondering what happens when another team drafts him.
Maybe we'll be lucky and Jerry Jones will sell the Cowboys to go buy that team.
No, I don't think so. I think he'll give up. I think that's your worst nightmare, though. Someone else drafts whoever his grandson is when he gets into the NFL. I think that's your worst nightmare. If you don't think he sells the farm to get him on the team. That's what I'm saying. If you don't think he sells the farm to get him on the team, you're crazy. You're crazy. Yeah. You guys are going to have a draft pick for 5 years.
Or a team that anybody knows the name of.
Yeah. If you don't think Jerry Jones is going to be drafting his grandson. Boy, you have not been paying attention in this episode. But we've reached the end of this episode now. That's where we're going to call it. If you, again, leave us a comment if you want us to discuss another team. We'd be happy to do that.
We're fans of these teams.
Yes, we are. I am an Eagles fan, and which is why I will destroy them if I have to. And I will say when they're going crap. And, of course, I will do the same thing for the Cowboys, but that's because I hate them. So, Marcus Fredrickson, he's going to play us out. Make sure you check him out on ReverbNation.com/Marcus Fredrickson. You can find this podcast on Facebook, YouTube, and Rumble. Please give us a comment, like, and share it out. Hit the subscribe button on Rumble or YouTube, wherever you like it. And, of course, visit the storefront, bonfire.com/The Boiling Point Podcast and bonfire.com/JDEDESIGNz with a Z. And, of course, all these links can be found in the description of every single one of our episodes.
And remember, go Cowboys.
Anyway, the Breeze taking care of some of the information we needed to look up off screen. Thank you very much to the Breeze.
A serious note, thank you for watching, and have a good night.
And this guy over here is the executive producer, Mizpah. He is the executive producer of both Mayhem Original and the Boiling Point Podcast. It's important you all know that. I don't know why. Thanks for watching. Look, in a couple days, Merc will be on. We'll be doing a wrestling episode. We'll be talking about the women of AEW and WWE, as well as a few other things that have come up over the last day or two while we were putting the episode together. So look for that, and that's the end.